This Managing Participant session will review security settings in your Zoom meeting. So let's have a look at the security settings as a host or a co-host. I have a button that says Security. Within the security settings, we can lock the meeting. Enable waiting room is always checked and it's grayed out. And you can allow participants to share their screen, chat, and unmute themselves. Also, under the Share Screen button, the up caret has advanced sharing options. These settings will also control if you will allow participants to be able to override someone else's share, or if only the host can do that. And it is recommended that you leave this setting on only the host so that the teacher always has control over the screen sharing. Also, when you're sharing your screen, the security button reveals that you can allow annotate on shared content as well. Be reminded that allowing participants to annotate on the shared content only works if they're on the Mac client or the Windows client or on a mobile device. It does not work on Chrome. So let's try these out. Unchecking shared screen will prevent participants from being able to share their screen. At any time, you can uncheck chat if you want to prevent students from using the chat. Allowing students to unmute themselves means they can use their microphone, and unchecking that prevents students from using their microphone. Now let's have a look at some of the related security settings in the participants list. First, we need a participant. You may have noticed that I did not have to admit this participant from the waiting room. That is because this is a credentialed user. They have signed in with their Google credentials to Zoom, which allows them access to my class. Now let's hover over the user and click More to see what other security-related options we have. We can put the participant in the waiting room. If the participant has their video turned on, we can also stop their video. We can do that by clicking on their video and using the triple dots drop-down menu. We could also pin their video, which makes that the top video, or put them in the waiting room from this menu. We can also stop the participant's video on the participant list. Or from here, we can ask them to start their video. Students would then receive a prompt to start their video. Now let's check out what happens when you put a participant in the waiting room. As you can see, you are prompted to admit the participant into your meeting. You also can look on your participant list and admit them from there. If you have multiple participants in the waiting room, you can click Admit All to admit them all at once. Now let's lock the meeting by going to Security and clicking Lock Meeting. I can still move participants in and out of the waiting room, but if a participant chooses to leave the waiting room, they cannot get back into my meeting because the meeting is locked. Be sure you are familiar with where these security settings are. These are most likely going to be some of the most common settings you will be changing during your live sessions.